Okay. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Looks like we are live. I hope y'all can hear me. Wow. Let me just make sure that my settings are good. Okay. Okay. I think so. All right. Here we go. Welcome everyone. I'm Jennifer from painfreeover50.com, and today I want to talk about intermittent fasting and how that can help with menopause symptoms. I'll tell you a little bit about my story here, but today I want to uh, talk about how to think about intermittent fasting, eating, meal plans, and most importantly, the mindset surrounding all of this. And please send me your questions in the comments. And then even after the live stream is over, keep those questions coming. I would love to interact with you here on my channel. And I'd love to respond to you. So, and of course, you can always go to www.painfreeover50 and that.com, of course. And you can also send me a message there as well and get more information about this. So while I'm waiting for questions, I'll just start off uh, with my story. So I think I was about maybe 49 going on 50. And uh, menopause hit me like a freight train. The pain that I experienced, the most irritating symptom, I don't even know if irritating is the right word, but the most irritating symptom for me was the hot flashes. The hot flashes just stopped me in my tracks. I was trying to work. I mean, I have a job. I have to work like many of you. You have a life, right? Some of you are still, raising your children. You've got teenagers in the house, or maybe some of you are raising, grandkids, or you're trying to do things with family. You have a lot of responsibility with family. You also perhaps work as well. You're still working, not retired yet. I work as a high school teacher. I'm a writing teacher, and so I would go to work in the morning, and those hot flashes would hit me just like wave after wave after wave, and it was debilitating. I would be teaching up in front of my class. I've got my whiteboard behind me. I enjoy what I do so much, and I'd be up there teaching, and the hot flash and the sweat. I would feel it from like the top of my head, like all the way down, like slowly down to my toes, just like a furnace, like someone started a furnace inside me and lit that furnace up, and I would start to sweat like it, and it would happen just like that. And so oop, the wind just picked up. It would just come on so quickly. And I'm in the middle of teaching, and I've got to finish my teaching point so that I can, allow my students to, go on with working on what, their assignment. And so, you know, I'm just like, okay, I gotta get through this. And it was hard to concentrate, you know, because it's like I feel like I'm burning from the inside out. And so I would quickly finish and be like, okay, students, just do your work, do what I just told you to do. And then I would make a beeline back to my desk. My desk would be in the back of the room. And I had a tower fan, and I would turn that on, and I would sit in front of the tower fan, like just with my head in my hands, and almost like panting like a dog. Uh, and the fan just hitting me, and my students would kind of turn around and peek at me, and just kind of go like this look on their face, like, oh, like they're feeling so sorry for me. They didn't understand, but they knew, whoa, our teacher that we love so much is in a lot of pain right now. Obviously, she's not okay. And they would go back to their work, but it put such a damper on my day. And instead of looking forward to going to work in the morning, I dreaded it. Not because I didn't love my job and what I did, it was the hot flashes. And I was just terrified of the hot flashes and the sweating. I'd ruin my clothes. So I'd have to think about, okay, what clothes can I wear? How do I layer my clothes so that I can take the sweater off and put the sweater back on if I need it? It was winter time, so it's like I could never dress in a way that helped me be comfortable. And that was the big one. Now, I had a lot of other symptoms. Insomnia, that was terrible. We'll talk about that on uh, another live stream, another video. Joint pain. I was puffy, like the inflammation and puffiness. Uh, Really rapid weight gain. So that made finding clothing that was comfortable even more difficult. Like just overnight, almost overnight, in the matter of like a couple weeks, I gained 30 pounds and nothing fit. I on my blog, painfreeover50.com, I have a story about how my jeans actually split, my pants split. I busted out of my jeans. Thankfully, I was wearing a long tunic style that covered it, but I was up in front of the class teaching again, like, and that's when it happened. And I could like feel it, and I think I heard it. No, my students had no idea. Thankfully. Oh, can you imagine? I have the best students in the world. They're so kind and sweet, and even if they did hear it, they would pretend that they didn't. But how embarrassing, and just how it was like I was no longer in control of my own life. And that's what menopause did to me. So what I did find was, after a few years of going through this, I was finally like, I've had enough. And, the traditional, medical route, going to the doctor and, getting pharmaceuticals, that just wasn't for me. And the answers that the medical community had for me, it didn't work. It just didn't work. And I was just desperate. And I found intermittent fasting. Okay. So I thought, I have nothing to lose. I'm desperate. In the moment, I had my head in my hands. I had the fan on me. And it was almost like a prayer, like, oh, help me. I got to find something. I'm desperate. And one of my colleagues walked into my classroom, and my kids were working on something. And she said, "Oh, are you sick? Do you need me to call somebody so you can go home?" And I turned to her. No, I'm not sick. Pause. I'm half crying and half laughing about it, in the moment. And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And then she's like, "Is there anything I can do?" And I said, "No, I've got my fan here. Pray for me." And she left the room. Maybe she did, I guess. She left the room, and that's when I vowed that day. That night I was going to go home and figure it out. And it happened to be my birthday. It was my birthday. And was I 51? I think I had just turned 51. Was it 50 or 51? And so I'm like, I gotta figure out something. So I go home and I start researching. I start looking, what can I do? And intermittent fasting came up, and I had done intermittent fasting in the past, but I realized, I was doing it wrong. I wasn't doing it as faithfully as I should. So I thought, I have nothing to lose. Like, there's nothing to buy with intermittent fasting. You stop doing things. Like, there's nothing I needed to incorporate into my life. It wouldn't take any more time. It wouldn't take money. I wouldn't need a quote unquote meal plan. I didn't have to go out and buy, these are the keto foods, or this is, how much protein I need, like that. Like I didn't even worry about any of that. I just said, okay, I'm going to try this intermittent fasting. Let's try this for a few days and see how things go. And then, if I can do it, I'll keep going. So within a couple of days, like it worked for me. It's like within 3 days, my hot flashes went away. And pretty soon after that, I started sleeping again, which was huge. I noticed my inflammation, my puffiness went away. I started looking and feeling like the self that I was, like me. When I looked in the mirror, I saw me again, not this someone who had just changed so drastically within like a few months, right? It's like I had kind of gone back to the me that I had been before, in my mid 40s. Um, my attitude was so much better. Brain fog had lifted. I mean, all the things. But so today I wanted to talk about intermittent fasting and how it helped me with my hot flashes. And so I am going to take some questions. So it looks like there have been some questions coming through. So, and comments. I'll take your comments as well. Okay, so it looks like Alicia. Um, Alicia, so she says, wow, I left intermittent fasting for 2 months to count macros. Consuming so much protein was exhausting and it didn't work for me. I'm back on what works for me, which is intermittent fasting. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay. Alicia, thank you. So I agree with that. We've got to find what works for us. And sometimes you have to try a few things to, figure out what is working. And, sometimes we hear about other things and we think, oh, well, maybe I should do this. Maybe it'll be better. And sometimes it might be. For some of you, hey, if counting macros works for you, go for it. If you feel good and you're not suffering from your menopausal symptoms or whatever it is that you're dealing with, if counting macros works, then count macros. Now, I'm going to be honest. I don't even know how to count macros. I wouldn't even know how to explain that to you. I don't. So I'll tell you about me. When I first started intermittent fasting, I fasted for 20 hours in a day. And then for 4 hours, I had an eating window. And at the beginning, I just ate whatever I wanted to. In that 4 hours, I did not worry about keto, carnivore. Oh, is this healthy or not? Like even that. I just said, this is enough of a change for me that I'm just going to focus on getting through that 20 hours. And then I knew that I had some food waiting for me. I had a snack at 4 waiting for me in the refrigerator. I could quickly go to, or I'd bring it along at work if I knew I was going to be working late. But at 4 o'clock, it was snack time. And I was going to eat whatever snack I wanted, healthy or not. And and then whatever dinner, I wanted to eat. I didn't worry about, oh, is this the most healthy? Is this healthy? Is this, low carb? And like, no, I did not worry about that whatsoever. I just worried about, I'm going to eat as much as I, feel comfortable eating in that 4 hours. And then I'm going to stop at that 4 hours, which was 8 o'clock at night. And then I slept, finally sleeping, went to bed about 9:30ish, between 9 and 10, slept, woke up the next day, had plain coffee, no cream, no MCT oil, no collagen, none of the stuff that everybody wants to put in their coffee, no sugar, no honey, no maple syrup, nothing. No calorie-free sweetener, no stevia, nothing. That's what I was doing wrong before. And I wasn't seeing results. Many years ago, my brother told me about, that's how he, felt good. He, stayed looking young. I wasn't doing it correctly. I was putting all kinds of junk in my coffee. So I did plain black coffee, good coffee. I love my coffee in the morning. Had a couple of cups, drank water, drank a lot of water during the day, and that did kind of help like fill me. But also, you got to stay hydrated because food equals uh, 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 how do I put it? Hydration. Like there's water in our food, right? You think about fruit, you think about different foods that you're eating. There's water in some of those veggies, right? There's water in that. So if you're not getting that, you've got to make sure that you're drinking throughout the day, and then you're you're doing something. It does help you kind of not think about food if that's a concern. And so I did that. I did take supplements. I do take supplements with food. So I had to kind of adjust. Instead of taking my supplements in the morning, I just take just a simple magnesium. I do some fish oil, liver, cod liver supplements, and then oh gosh, beef liver. And that's important. We can talk about that another day. But some of you might have medications or things that you've got to take. You've got to do what you've got to do. Okay. I'm not here to tell you get off your medications or get off your supplements. No, you need to do that due diligence and figure out how this works for you. But so I just shifted my supplements to that 4 o'clock feeding time, and that worked fine. That worked fine for me. And drinking water through the day, excuse me, um, you know, coffee. I will do some tea in the like afternoons sometimes. Just plain tea. Um, what is it? Tea chino is really good. There's no caffeine because I can't do caffeine anymore after 12 o'clock. So that's what I did. And I did that on repeat every day. And by the third day, no more hot flashes. It was wild. It was wild. Okay. Let's see some other. Oh, not my avocado oil sweet potato chips. Okay. So you know what? That's what you like. If that's what you need for now. You can still do the intermittent fasting and just, you know, have that as your snack. Um, Eventually, I think what we need to maybe think about, and this is where I am now, is whole foods, not the store, but whole foods as like non-processed foods. Like we're getting away from the processed foods, and we're getting into the whole foods. Fruit. I'm not going to tell you what to eat, but like here's what I go to. I'll have some yogurt, not no sweetener, like it's plain yogurt, plain. And I know it tastes like sour cream, but listen to me. I add some fruit. I love blueberries, organic blueberries, and then just maybe a little drizzle of honey on that, and that's a fabulous treat for me. I love that. Uh, so that is something that does break my fast at 4 o'clock. It's kind of like breakfast, but at 4 o'clock. Sometimes I'll mix up a couple scrambled eggs or organic farm raised eggs if you can get them. But if you're starting out, don't worry about that. Okay. If you're starting out, just worry about, hey, where am I going to put my 20-hour window of fasting? How is it going to work for me? You don't have to have the same schedule that I do. Maybe you want to eat this huge breakfast in the morning and that works for you. And then you fast all day. You can go to sleep at night without, your tummy, feeling, sad, and then wake up the next morning and, do your 4-hour eating window in the morning. If that works for you, then do that. But that's not, yeah, I didn't try that. I tried the evening time because then I could have dinner with my husband, my family. So there it is. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So it processed, the potato chips they're processed. So, you know, maybe they're just an every once in a while treat. I don't think I would have them every day, but you do what you need to do. Okay, so hi Jennifer. I started the 24 fasting 2.5 weeks ago, and I just jumped right in. And I've lost 4. I don't know what kegs. I don't know if it's. I don't know what that means. Already my so she's lost some weight. Sounds like it's my stomach is getting flatter. I feel energized. Okay, ooh, I love that. I feel energized. Thank you. I'm so glad I found you. Oh, thank you. Oh, this is Francis. Thank you, Francis. That's awesome. Number one, yeah, I felt so much energy, and I still do. Like I have students in their 20s, but I also teach college. I teach high school, and then I also teach college in the afternoon. And after a full day of just crazy, like a crazy schedule, so many students at the high school, then I go in the afternoon, I go to the college that's across the street, and I teach an English course there. And one of the first days we had this uh, like kind of get to know you activity. And I was telling them, a couple things about myself, and they had to guess which one was the lie, which one was the truth. And one of the things I put up there was that I had hiked up a volcano, and that wasn't a lie. But my students were like, some of my students were like, I don't know, like, look at her, she's old. You think she climbed a volcano? Like, and they have no idea what that's like. They haven't been to a volcano. But I had one student, I overheard him say, "What? Look at her! Look at the energy that she has." I vote, yeah, she climbed the volcano with that energy. Yeah, I believe it. And I was just like, oh, oh, wow. Okay. So, I mean, obviously, like this, even my students see it. Sometimes they'll laugh. They'll say, like, "I wish we could bottle your energy. How are you doing this? What are you taking?" I'm like, it's what I'm not taking. And I don't really talk to them about intermittent fasting because no, that's not something that I want to, well, preach or teach to younger kids. But a few of them, like, they've kind of figured it out, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, yeah, I know about that. I've heard of that." But that's it might not be appropriate for younger people. Like, so I'm not going to tell anybody you need to do this. But I am going to tell you, y'all that are out there, people like me that are suffering, it's worth a try. If you're suffering from hot flashes, and you've tried all the stuff and it's just not working, what? Try intermittent fasting. Why not? Why not? Let's see. This is Debbie. Hi, Debbie. You are changing my mindset. Thank you so much. Keep the content coming. Okay. Thank you. That's encouraging. I appreciate that. Will do. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. Um, okay. Um, so I am into the second week of my fasting, she's okay. This is Terry. Terry, hi Terry. She says, I am in the second week of the intermittent fasting, which is, and the feasting, I guess the eating part is the hardest part for me. I have the fasting down and I'm doing pretty well. Oh, good. Congratulations. Awesome, Terry. I really, really can relate to what you're saying in this video. Okay, awesome. Thank you. So number one, I hate that you're suffering, because I was suffering too, but I'm so glad that you're finding that the fasting is working. And so I'm not sure what what it is about the feasting that is the eating part that's tough for you. Maybe send some more information. Like I said, when I first started this, like probably for several months, I just focused on the time frame, 20 hours of fasting, and then feast for 4 hours. And that's just eat what I can, whatever I felt like eating. I just ate and I didn't worry about it. I didn't write it down. I didn't focus on, well, what is this? Is this low carb? No, I just didn't. My only goal was to get into the rhythm of the fasting and see if I could do it day after day after day. Okay. And I could, and it worked. And so after I did that for a few months and I felt really comfortable and just that was like the new routine of my life, then I started to worry about what I was eating during my eating window. Okay. So I hope that helps. Take some pressure off, give yourself some grace. This is a big change, right? This is it. This is a new way of doing life. And it's, you're not adding anything, you're taking things away. And that can be sometimes just as big of a change, right? So, just plain black coffee. If you're a coffee drinker, water in the morning, drink some good filtered water. Minerals, you're going to want to put minerals in there to help, because that is also going to help with just your body's balance. You need minerals, and most water, just like tap water, it's not going to do it. And if you have the reverse osmosis, you won't have all the minerals in your water. And you can buy mineral water, but that is costly. And I like, I'm a teacher. I have to be, mindful. So sometimes I buy, some, like the carbonated bubbly water, mineral water as a treat. But most often you're going to see me with my cup of water, and I have some minerals that trace minerals that I put in there, and the cost is just like pennies. So there you go. Okay. JJ asks, how do I get started? Okay, well, if you want, go to my blog, which is www.painfreeover50.com. And the 50 is spelled out FIFTY, painfreeover50.com. And you will go straight there and check out my blog articles, check out my content. And there are articles on how to get started and how to do this and how I did it. Okay. So I'm not telling you to go do it. I'm just telling go check out my website, and you can read about my experiences. And yeah, if that resonates for you, like, hey, just check it out. That's all I'm saying. Let's see. What are some other questions? Okay. Elsa, let's see. Elsa, hi, Jennifer. I cannot eat later than, it says 19 o'clock. Is that 7? I'm not sure. So my 20-hour fasting runs from 7:30 to, I'm not sure I think this is like military time, and I'm not sure what she's saying. So I have to take medication in the morning around 8 o'clock, but I cannot take it on an empty stomach. Any suggestions what to take that will not spike my insulin? I'm not sure about that. Yeah, let me get back to you on that. That's a good question. Um, I mean, for me, I need to take my supplements with food, and I just move them to 4 o'clock. So you might check with whoever prescribed that medication. Check and just see, can I take it at another time? Could I take it later in the day? Think about how you could, if you're trying to do intermittent fasting, how could you shift your time frame? 20 hours is optimum, but some people find that 16 hours of fasting with an 8-hour eating window will still work. So play around with that, because that might work for you. Just do what works for you. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you, do what works for you. AJ says, I love this. My takeaway for myself is keep things simple. Yes. Yes, AJ. It doesn't have to be complicated. When you're doing something new, keep it simple. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what else. What else? Barbara says, this is terrific information. Love everything you're talking about. Thanks for stopping by, Barbara. That's awesome. Um, Selena says, this is what I need. I made a list of all the foods I like. I need someone to look at it and tell me what is okay to eat. LOL. Okay. So, Selena, trust that your body is going to know that when you eat those things, if you feel good, like obviously there's some foods that you feel good about eating, that you can't wait to eat, um, and you feel good after. That's a clue. If you have energy, if it's something that, your digestion, is good, with that, things are working for you, then I think one of the other viewers said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So go with that. Again, this is a practice, right? This is an experiment that you're trying to figure out what works for you. Okay, trust your body, and go with what works for you. Okay. Helen asks, does black coffee break a fast? It shouldn't. Try it and see what if it works for you. Okay, I drink black coffee in the morning, and I've been successful. My hot flashes have not returned. Um, let's see, what's some other questions here. Um, Most of these are not questions; they're just comments, and I love them. I'm here for it. CJ says, clean eating is not eating processed foods and processed oils, which may not affect your taste buds. It is bad for your health. GMO foods are bad. Okay. So addressing this, you know, I would encourage, people to get away from processed foods, and that will do wonders for you. Again, here's just what I did. What worked for me when I first started intermittent fasting. I just focused on the fasting and the time frame, that 20 hours. Get through the 20 hours. And honestly, after a couple of days, it was easy. Like, I don't even think about it anymore. Um, it's harder for me to stop and eat because I have a new rhythm of my life. But so, yeah, just it eventually, CJ, you're right. Eventually, we want to get away from the processed foods and, pardon me, the olive oil or avocado oil, potato chips. Yeah, it's an occasional snack. It's occasional. Yeah. And here's the thing. Here's another thing. I'm looking at the time, and we're gonna have to wrap this up. But I really want to press upon you that if you do start intermittent fasting, give yourself grace and understanding. And if there's a birthday party, if there's an event, if there's a special like anniversary dinner or something special, go. Go there and eat the cake, okay? Eat the dinner. Just, it's okay. That's an occasional thing. You don't have a special event every day, do you? No, we don't. We don't. You know what a special event is, right? Passing the Starbucks. That's not a special event because you probably pass like 5 Starbucks on the way to work. That's not a special event. But if your friend is, hey, it's been a while since we've met. Let's meet for coffee somewhere. Let's meet. And a lot of times I'll meet a friend for coffee and I'll order black coffee, or I'll order mineral water, or I'll order both. I've been known to go to happy hour and order mineral water, and I love it. And I don't care what they think. No one even comments. No one comments. They probably think I'm on antibiotics. But now they know, right? They know that that's Jennifer's routine. That's what she does. And there's no shame in that. No shame in what they're doing. My group from work or wherever, they've chosen to that they want to eat the things and drink the things. And sometimes I also choose to do that. But more often than not, I don't. But there are special occasions that I say, I make up my mind ahead of time. I'm going to the party and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not going to worry about what I'm eating. Um, you know, I'm going to give myself permission to do the stuff, right? But on a day-to-day basis, I live my life. I have what I know works for me. Okay. So we'll have to wrap this up. Again, keep those comments coming. I will respond to them. But I hope you all are having a wonderful weekend, a wonderful day, whenever you're listening to this or wherever. My hope for you is that you find what works for you and that you can start living pain free no matter what stage of life you're in. If you're in menopause like me, I pray that you can find relief for what you're going through because it's not fun and it's not in your head. This is real. The inflammation that is being caused by these changes that your body is going through, it is real. It is not all in your head. It's real. I'm here to tell you. And this community is also here to tell you that you are not alone. So go to my website, www.painfreeover50.com. Check it out and watch my other videos. Like and subscribe. I would love, and comment. Yeah, comment below. I would love to hear from you. Okay. Be well. See you soon.